Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Okay, another introduction video. This is a project that I'm going to be working on through the year. It is a project that's been with me for quite some time, if anything probably 3 years I think, and it's my red book. Now I have shown it in the past of where I'm at with it, as in some different elements within the actual project. But what I want to do this year is I want to finish it and I need to rebuild it. So what I've got is a series of bits and pieces in here that just aren't finished. That's the first step, finish all the elements. The other thing I want to do is I want to pull it apart and redo the construction of it. Now, what I did was I have stitched it into a piece of card, which is in the back here. And it's just become a flip-floppy mess. And I sort of want it to be a little bit more structured. So I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to snip the signature threads. It just isn't sitting well. So I want to rethink all of that. I'm not sure what I'll do yet, but I want to have a play with it again. There's the thread that held it all together. So in amongst all that, that is now stitched into, see there's a line of sewing machine stitching down there. That's how I laid it in as a signature. So that signature is one that's been stitched together. So that in its entirety is actually finished. Now, whether there's gaps and bits and pieces in here I can revisit, I don't think so. I think this was the very first piece I did. I see there's a pocket. That needs something to go in it. And I've got a mix of paper as well as embroidery in this journal. So there's heaps of space. See, there's blank spaces, blank spaces. It was all based on the French general fabric. So that's one signature that is secured by a sewing machine stitch down the center. This is the second one. Let's snip it out. Let's get rid of it from this spine and have a look at what we've got here. So once again, let's go to the center. See, there's gaps everywhere, even in the center here. Okay, so I've got bits and pieces pinned in that have never found a home. So it is a case of I just want it finished. So the goal is to have this completed by the end of the year, my red book. See, in here, these are elements that I've collected over time, have come from people that have purchased things from. There's paper. It's got a real eclectic feel about it. Some journal cards I've made. So it's a mix of paper. That's actually a tuck spot that's been glued onto the page. So it's a little bit of everything. Now this little one is stitched into this. There's some more bits and pieces in another pocket. So it's a celebration of everything red. Red. Little tuck spots everywhere where I've stitched. So this is, yeah, I just want to finish it. Little flower down here. Oh, so many memories. There's a snippet flower here. Tuck spot here. That cover is secure. So that's signature number 2. So the plan is to revisit these signatures, finish them off with whatever needs finishing in them. Then I have this cover here. Now, I guess the question is, do I use it do I reinvent the way it's presented? See, that's all pinned there. Let me unpin this. Let's have a little look at what I've got here. Okay, so that's a little stitched piece that needs to find a home. So let's get it off of this cover. I've got a piece of card in here that's got this attached. That's coming off. There we go, it's off. I'll just put that to one side. Now that is glued onto there. And it feels really strong, but is it going to be of use? Should I redo? I think I need a harder cover. It's sort of like a flip-floppy thing. I think I sort of do. I know I want to use this lace. How did I attach that there? That's just stitched. So if I need to, I can remove it. Let's remove it. Oh, there's glue in there as well. There's some stitches as well, just a little bit of glue. A few little stitches and a few dobs. So that'll come off quite easily. Let's have a look at this doily that it started with. So I need to find a cover, like a hardcover book that is about the right size. So there's a little element that I'll put to one side. This is, oh, that's been cut. That's right, I remember now. This was at an op shop that someone had cut it. So I just folded that over to give it a neat edge. Now, I don't know, I think that needs to come out, because I think it was never strong enough. Yeah, I need to get that out. I might even have to wash it, like soak it, and this card then would just break down and be gone. There we go. It won't take much to get rid of that, I don't think. So I'm not sure where we'll head with this. We'll just work through it. I'll pick it up from time to time. A video will pop up about the REDWORK. It's going to be paper as well as needlework. So it'll be a combination of all sorts of elements. I've got quite a few vintage sewing bits and pieces that need a home because they're just rattling around in boxes. So it might be a case of we add more pages. We've got 2 definite signatures. Maybe we need to make 3. So that's the doily, back to where it started. I might go and soak that in some water, and that will get rid of all of that. And then I think I'll go hunting for a hardcover book that will give me that structure I feel like I need to hold in my hand. When I picked it up, all I could feel was this piece of card. So I'd have this little hard center, and then everything was just flip-flopping around. I just didn't, and it wouldn't stand. It just, yeah, I do like soft cover journals, but this one just had no integrity to it. So we've got a doily stitched on there, that star doily, that'll stay. So that's going to still be the cover, but we need to work in there something a little a little bit more structured, and we've got some bits and pieces here that we may be able to upcycle and use, so we'll just pop them on the pile. Now, in my box of tricks, this is a container that I've just been putting things that are red over the years. Now, I've recently added the fabric that was left from the Christmas project, so I have some more of that, and I'm thinking it really matches. So I've definitely freshened up the fabric side of things. Let's have a little bit of a rummage through this. So I've got a few little elements that haven't been completed, pockets with embroidery and things like that, so they can definitely be worked. This is a embroidery I did years ago. It is a pattern that I have in my Etsy store, and I'd really like to find a home for that, so that needs to be considered. Maybe that could go on the inside cover of the book. I have some embroidery panel here that I had plans to stitch. Now, this might be a section comes into this project, and then this floral might be good for one of the Roxy Creations down the garden path stitcheries. So that I think will go in 2 locations. I've then got a little bag here where I've been putting in bits and pieces to embroider with. So I need to do a tidy up. So there's yo-yos. That's a red cotton. What have we got here? I don't need 2 bags. These are little hexagon templates. Oh, it'd be so good just to finish this thing and get it on the shelf and empty these bags. So I'll put those little hexagons in there. So we might do some hexagon work, some buttons. I've got some fabric. These are some of the original fabrics that are still kicking around in here. So I got plenty of inspiration, if you will, to continue. I think the problem with this project is I never really had a clear direction of where I was going with it. It was just whenever I felt like doing stitching, I'd make something and it'd end up in this. All I had was the restriction of colour, REDWORK. And I knew I loved this fabric that was part of the French General range. So the pack of fabric went in here, and then away I went. Years have rolled on as I've been doing bits and pieces. It often goes with me on holiday. If I go somewhere, I can just grab it and I'm off and making something out of something. So I think it's a case of this year I am going to finish it. And I knew the cover wasn't working for me. It was just becoming, I don't know, a flip-floppy mess. And I think too, I'd stitched it into the spine too soon. So when it came to adding new elements, it was already in the book. So it was quite a painful process to sort of work on it, because everything was attached to that spine. It's got plenty of threads, some little red buttons, heaps of buttons lying in here. So let's get them all into that plastic bag. Oh, it feels good to have a clean up. So we know what we got and what we don't got. That's perfect English, isn't it? A few little snippets. There's a little pearl. This is a Christmas decoration holding bag we were selling in the shop many years back. I don't have them anymore. you put these dividers in and your baubles would sit in it. I'm getting sidetracked now. You create these sections and you could put Christmas baubles in each of the little components. Anyway, so it's become just a project bag for me. I've just modified it into just a good little bag that I can put my REDWORK project in. So we've got some, oops, I've missed a few bits and pieces in the little bag. Got plenty there. There's another button. We've got a cotton or two. We've got some fabric. We've got some elements that I'd like to do something with. And then we've got, there's another, we'll put these in the elements, find a home. Then we've got these random little clusters of things that just aren't finished. So there's a few of those. It's a double-sided piece. So I need to rethink those pieces. We've got the cover base, so that needs to become something. And then we've got some signatures that have layers of work within them but gaps for more pieces. So I have a feeling I will create one more signature. So I've got two which aren't completed, and I've got some pieces that could make a third. I think. We'll see. So that's the project. It's a red book that needs some fine-tuning, and by the end of the year I want this completed and off my desk. So I hope you'll join me. If you have a REDWORK project in your cupboard, drag it back out and let's have a play. And this one is going to be fun because it actually has elements of all sorts in it. So like that's a Christmas decoration there. Beading. Yeah. See, some of these spots can have pockets. Collections of lace. Now there's heaps of room for more. So this is going to be completed by the end of the year. And I think my first challenge is to sort the cover out. All these little bits and pieces, they're just great little projects for, you know, whenever. But the cover, I need to think about the cover. I'm going to go hunting for a book in my cupboard that is big enough to hold this. And I'm thinking that maybe an old cookbook. Often they've got that nice shape. If I can't find anything, I can create something, but I prefer to base it on a book because then I know it's strong. When you create something yourself, you'll often end up with not enough strength. And I think that's what happened with my spine in here. It just wasn't strong enough to do the job. So I need to go hunting for a big cookbook to sort of formulate a bit of strength behind the cover, and then the rest of it will just fall into place and we can stitch them into either a tab spine or, I don't know, got plenty of options. I wonder if I could do a Midori style. I haven't done a Midori style needlework book. I'm a bit of a fan of tabs, but because I like looking through the spine of them, and you can decorate them as well, the actual tabs that go across from the front to the back of the cover. So okay, that's the plan. So there's another introduction video of what's coming this year. That's it for now. I do have a project that will start in the beginning of the year, and it's going to be Christmas based, but I'm still working on sort of pulling that together. So stay tuned. But at the moment, that's enough. We've got 4 Roxy Creations Journey Down the Garden Path. We've got the Susanna from Vintage Blend Studio, Vintage Sewing Techniques. And we've also got the colour wheel and this. So what's that? 4 Susanna, the colour wheel, and this. So that is going to be my 6 months to a year projects. There'll be other things slide in, I'm sure, because you know how it is. You randomly go off in different directions. The target is to get it all done by the end of the year. The colour wheel will roll for 16 months, but yeah, I think it's all very doable. It's a lot of work, but I'm determined to get it all done. Okay, everyone, thanks for joining me, and yeah, let's see you all in the next video. I'm not sure how the order will go. I think once I get into a bit of a rhythm, maybe there'll be Tuesday this pops up, Wednesday this pops up, Thursday this pops up. I'm not sure. It might be random. I really don't know. It's, yeah, no rules. Just see how I go. Go with the flow and see what I pick up and do a little bit of work on. And I'll keep you posted as we roll through the year. All right, everyone. I will leave you alone now, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now. Hi, guys. I'm back. After I finished filming that video about the REDWORK and the remodeling of it and the finishing of it, I stopped the video and I started popping everything, you know, back in its little case. And then I went to my bookcase to find something that could become the cover. And I found this barbecue cookbook. She's an old girl, and I picked it up for, you know, like 50 cents at the op shop. And they're fantastic big sizes for needlework bases. So I just brought it back into the room, and it is going to work a treat. It fits my doily beautifully. And if I wrap that around the other side, it just makes the edge. Having said that, the spine is not going to work because it's only that big. So I need to have a think about my cover. This is definitely going to be the book. This is definitely going to go on the cover, but I'm going to need to cut it, which won't bother me because if I cut it, say down the center here and build in a decorative spine, that doily can split and go to the front and to the back, which would be rather cool. So that's the plan. I've found a book, and this is going to be completely remodeled, and I'm going to slice it and then insert a new spine, whether it be tabs or an embroidered piece. I don't know yet, but this book is going to be my donor. So I thought I would turn the video back on and start the process of cutting down this book. Now I'm just going to grab my blade, and I'm going to, first of all, let's get rid of the cookbook. Let's get rid of it. There we go. I should have a thumb through it just to make sure there's not anything in there I need in my life. I doubt it. Oh, goodness me. What is that? Is that liver sitting on top of lamb? Ugh. I don't think I need this. No. No, gone. I can use that as a glue book because the pages are nice and big, so that will be glued. That's random. Random little piece of paper. So we've got this net in here, so let's cut that net so that we can get in there. I couldn't believe it. The first book I picked up was this, and it's the perfect size for our project. Let's peel that out. It'll just give me that structure. Like, I don't mind a soft book, soft cover book, but I do probably prefer, she's old, that didn't take much to get off, did it? I do prefer that, the firmness of a book cover, and I think they sit better on your bookcase too. Okay, not that this is too much of a concern because I'll be covering it with calico too, or something. I'll find something that I can cover it with. I've got a cupboard full of linens and things from my quilting days that like remnants from projects, so it's good to be able to get in amongst them and use them. That's not coming off, that's all good. So the plan now is I'm going to slice down there with this blade, separating the two. One cover. Let's get rid of the other one. So I think what I will do first is cover the base with some fabric. Push that out of the way. And then I've got the start of something. Do I want to peel that up? Is that going to come off? Oh, I wonder if it will. Let's have a look, hey? If I could get rid of that shiny red, probably wouldn't be a bad thing. It's so old, it looks like it's from the 70s or something. I might just stop because that's also adding thickness, that film and print that's on there. So let's use calico. We will see the red through the calico, but that's not a big problem because I will then add some slow stitch to it. So we're really just getting the base of it covered. So that's folded in half, so that will work. Maybe I can get two. Oh, that'd be... It might be a bit tight because I've got to fold over, so it's not quite going to work. But I will get two out of it. Oh, I feel good already knowing that the cover is at least being, you know, I won't cut that because it's a fold. So I might as well, I'm thinking like Grandma when she was sewing. No use cutting there. If I leave that fold intact, because that's the fold there, I'll get more fabric in a bigger piece. Does that make sense? And it might even be enough to go through the center here. We'll see. Let's get rid of this selvage because it's bulk that I don't need. And I will get my PVA glue out and I will glue this fabric to the cover. So because it's folded in half, I've got two pieces here. So that'll do the two covers. So I'm just going to sneak that down a little bit. So I've just got enough to go down. I wonder. Let's get the ruler and be a little precise about this. So it's about 8.5 inches. Oh, I'd be so close. So there's my piece. That will go and cover that, and that'll glue down there. And what I'm hoping, it probably won't fit, but it might, and it is. Oh, yay, look at that. I can use that piece to go over there. Now, we can see through the fabric, but that's okay because we'll put a embroidered piece over that again. This is just to get the cover covered in fabric. So it's just a base, if that makes sense. So what I will do, I won't do it on camera because you've seen this all 100 times, and my glue is on the other side of the room and my brush is who knows where. I think it's still sitting by the sink from when I used it last. I will go ahead now and cover my book, and then in the next video let's start working on the decorative piece that will become the cover of the actual journal. So that's the plan. All right, guys, I will leave you now for sure, and I will go off and get this little task done. That'll give it time to dry. I can then put it to one side, and I now know how big this piece needs to be, and we can start thinking about what goes on the front to embellish it and slow stitch and yeah, go from there. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining me, and I promise I will leave you this time. All right, bye.